G'day and welcome back to Torment Thursdays. Guess what? There's a new version of the beta out. It means we've got a whole new intro sequence. Okay, this stuff's actually pretty much the same as it's always been. But now we've got things like this bit, which talks about, hey, this is Pillars of Eternity Tech and Techland Publishing. Because I guess actually the previous version of the beta they hadn't announced Techland was publishing it. So that makes sense. And yeah, there should be other improvements. I actually haven't. They've got stuff about backers. Obviously, I'm one of them because that's how I got access to the beta and the alpha. And yeah, let's start a new game and see what's changed. It is loading a lot faster. I've noticed that, and I guess they've done optimizations in the past 6 months. So
your mind wakes in darkness. Aching cold sets into an unfamiliar body. A distant howling surrounds you, louder with each passing second. Insistent and invisible hands slap and tear at the membrane that protects you.
So this all looks pretty much the same.
It's an involuntary and formless panic. You feel you have forgotten something important. As if it once meant the world to you. But the details slip away as you grasp at them.
I mean, the actual menu, not menu, but like text box and this whole setup is again different. Looks good.
Your eyes open.
Let's look around.
A pink fleshy cocoon surrounds you. Even as you look, a minor rent in its side tears open, and the howling wind forces its way inside. The cocoon rips away, gone before you can grab it, spinning you into a dizzying tumble. You are falling, the world many kilometers beneath you. You catch a glimpse of a curved horizon, and also the ground beneath you that is approaching deceptively quickly. Above you, a small moon is slowly collapsing in upon itself. A corona of acid green and black energy playing around its edges. The wind buffets you and burns your eyes, but you don't need to see the details of the faraway ground to know you're in serious trouble. You won't survive a fall from this stratospheric height. A part of your frantic mind babbles that technically you probably fell from a thermospheric height.
Okay, I think that bit's new. Okay. Let's try to judge how far it is.
You started at least 100 kilometers above the ground, assuming you fell from a dying moon, that is. You've been blacked out for some time now, and now it looks like you're perhaps 50 kilometers up, maybe less.
Let's try and remember. I don't remember trying these options before.
It's hazy. You were in a tall passageway, its sides slicked with dew, the air warm and moist, as if you were caught in the breath of a giant organism. You remember fleeing in fear and exhilaration, laughing through the terror. What was it that pursued you?
Cool.
Something ancient and cold, its coiling power the promise of oblivion. Its shadowed tendrils struck at you, and the walls where they landed were torn apart utterly, destroyed beyond any hope of repair. You leapt into a membranous cocoon and fell from the station.
Yeah, this is definitely new.
And then you were empty.
I like it. I want to find out more.
What was that creature? A word surfaces in your thoughts, and you seize it before it vanishes. Sorrow. The world fills your sight. You're about to hit. It hurts your mind to recall, but you push past it, a creature of the forgotten world seeking you out across the centuries. But it's not you it seeks, is it? It sought the man whose memories you shuffle through now, and you realize suddenly that you are not him. You were...
Really interesting.
Who were you?
Yeah, I'm going to keep going through this chain. I wonder if it's another way to get yourself killed.
If you somehow manage to sidestep everything you know about anatomy, physics, and death, and you are surprised to realize that you do know something about them, and you survive this fall, you suspect that you might be able to reawaken a dormant strength you sense inside you. But who could possibly survive a fall from this height?
Us, with a little help.
Reaching an escape tube, and you remember being struck by a tendril of force, and then the fall. The fall. You open your eyes in time to see a riot of color around you, your descent barely slowed, and then agony flares throughout your body as a crunching impact destroys you. The last thing you hear is a rapidly cycling whine of energy, and then darkness.
Okay, cool. So that, yeah, I mean, the thing is, especially if you've been watching this series, this is all exactly, like, that was new content, but it was leading to the same place and the same story. So I'm not that fussed about looking at the world. We'll get to explore the Reef of Worlds. We'll get to look at this thing and push it around. So, jumbled thoughts cloud your head as you study the empty bowl before you. Drops of liquid fall from the ceiling, spattering on the ground next to the bowl. The light from every drop is reflected in the bowl's rounded hollow, as if it hungers for that light and needs to be filled. Yet the bowl remains dry. Another drop falls from the ceiling and splashes across the pylons. Wasted. Let's have a look at the bowl. Oh, we've got more points in the pool. So last time around we started off with 2 in the pool. Which was kind of a reaction to our health. Except we also started off with 15 health last time. So they've definitely, they've been tweaking stats. This is actually almost at the 6 we started off in the alpha and very first version of the beta. So, so we look at the bowl. Bowl is slippery, has scales that spiral up from the bottom, and has a sharp toothed rim. It's going to be tricky to move it without slicing his fingers, and we've got to put some effort in. Now I've actually got a tutorial. So if this is your first task, yep, might, speed, intellect, you can spend effort. You can spend effort. Don't worry if you fail, sometimes failure is interesting. And the no point effort one is shown there. And if we go over here, does it still show? Yeah, thoroughly investigated the bowl. So plus 15%. We'll put our back in. Done. Success. You carefully take hold of the bowl, avoiding the teeth on the serrated rim. With a deep breath, you move it over the glowing pool of fallen light. And here we go. Now we can see more of the area around us. Drop by drop, the bowl fills. Ripples spreading over the blurred outline of your reflection. A pale blue luminescence stretches into the corners of the room. A clear radiance spills across the segmented floor, washing away the near shadows and pouring into your mind, melting the ragged edges of your fragmented thoughts. You're not whole, not yet, but you've begun to heal from the damage done in your long fall. A voice calls out from somewhere high above, beyond the reaches of the spreading light. Hello? Are you still alive down there? We're up here. Build a path up to us. Be careful. Alrighty, so now we'll go here. That looks nice. Still got the same kind of movement set up. As soon as you touch the orb, a memory floods into your mind. Same memory too, yep. Stand in front of a rusted door. The air is humid and dank. You've had a moment's respite from this waterlogged hell. A bubble of stale air for your resting point. You've breathed water before, and you've lived decades beneath the waves, but this body's an air breather, and the constant pressure has been crushing you ever so subtly. Worse, your companion's mind seems to be wandering from the task at hand. He's a genius with machines, as you well know, but now he seems distracted. The device in his hand is covered in knobs, wires, and antennas. He believes it can get the two of you through the corroded door, but is merely staring at it. Perhaps he's lost faith in his invention, but that's hardly your concern. This mission cannot be delayed. It must proceed. Let's deceive him by telling him you've heard sounds of pursuit. We're going to be the sneaky Jack type. Your words echo clearly, and he looks up, surprised as you cut through his indecisive daze. He grimaces and says, "All right, we'll be through the door before they catch up." His fingers make minute adjustments to the knobs and blinking levers of the device, and the stale air of your bubble freshens as the door swings open. A dark hallway lies beyond, a passage that links the waterboarded cells and the aquatic viewing areas. What you seek lies there. Moments later, you're underwater again. Your hand is closing around a strange yet familiar artifact. You'll need it to complete something. It hovers above a pedestal, rotating in the dark water. An electric current runs through your fingers as your hand crosses the vertical plane of the pedestal, and an iridescent field coalesces so fast that the ripples of pressure daze you for a moment. The rising pulse of a sonar alarm ripples through the water. The guards won't be far behind. Let's disable the sonar pulse. You focus on the cloudy base of the pedestal. Your fingers instinctively find the control panel for the jeweled force field, almost as if you built it in the first place. You remove it, casting it to the side, and you reach inside to deactivate the crystals that power both the pulse and the pedestal. As you remove them, a scaly hand falls on your shoulder. Your head whips around and you see only the inky blackness of a piscine eye. The memory begins to fade as if you were being drawn backward through a tunnel. You hear more pylons rising from the pit. Something is wrong. The events within the orb have settled into the gap in your mind, but the edges of it are rough, as though the memory is not truly yours. There's something else. A gust of sour air pulling at you, like a predator inhaling the scent of its prey at the end of a dark, whispering field. So they still haven't added any voicing to that. Cool. Let's go up here, grab that orb. This isn't changed, right? Yep. Still kind of annoying that these will pop up across the edge of a screen, but that's fine. Oh, the feedback button's gone. That's why they're requesting feedback on the forum. That would make sense. You stand beside a woman on a verdant crag. Beneath the two of you is a broad plateau towering above the overgrowth far below. Strange machines have been built into the cliffside, presumably for reconnaissance or defense. A metallic disc gleams from the center of the plateau. Your self-aware humanoid machines drill into the base of the cliffs below. If you were looking for a sanctuary, and you were, desperately, this seems like the right place. I don't know about this, the woman says, her voice flat, neutral. Her face is turned away from you. What makes this place any more secure than the other ones we've found? Use your charm to convince her to the merit of sight and remind her of the time constraints. A clown passes over the sun as you engage her in a inspirited, friendly debate, pointing out the footprint of a prior world civilization whose power remains untapped. After a few minutes she laughs, raising her hands in mock surrender. Stop, your servitors are down there. You've already chosen this as a site, haven't you? She waits for your affirmation and says, Alright, I'm convinced. The two of you sketch your plans for the sanctuary, drawing schematics and architectural diagrams. Then you descend onto the plateau to examine the open ground. The woman suggests having one of the servitors build a shelter for your time here. You try to draw one of the constructs away from its task, but it doesn't respond to your voice. When you lay a hand on its shoulder to reinforce your command, it whirls and strikes you across the face with inhuman speed. It turns back to its task, ignoring you. Your companion helps you rise, laughter in her eyes. It seems your construct has other ideas. What's the matter with it? Then let's examine it for mechanical faults. Everything resolves into sharp focus, and you see that the servitor's rear actuators are corrupted. You dig into the construct's backs. It doesn't seem to mind as long as you don't interfere with its task. Deftly, you reset the actuators and see the energy spark into disused portions of the construct's brain. The construct resumes its work, and this time it listens when you speak to it. Acknowledged. It obediently trundles to the side of your new shelter. The image freezes and fades, and you feel the memory filling the gap in your mind, block by jagged block. You stagger, clutching your head, reclaiming memories hurts. And once more, there's something else. Hair lifts. One by one on the back of your neck. Beyond this room, something can sense what you're doing, and it is hunting you. Okay, so one thing I've noticed, we no longer have the stat point gain, right? These don't have a test associated with them. You just go straight into the memory. There's no booby trap, or you have to catch something, and so there's also no way of boosting your stats, which may be why you start off with 5 in each, but even here you're only gaining 3 or 4, so it's definitely a difference. A vision of a city springs up around you, your city, in flames and under attack. Her defenders have fought and died all day, and still the attackers keep coming. They fight as if your destruction were demanded of them. They care nothing for mercy, surrender, or plunder. What they want is blood. But you have brought a keen-eyed companion to the top of the tower. She's seen the way to stop the invaders. You need to get her to safety, and you need to rally your defenders. But even as you turn towards the door of the tower, 2 of the attackers descend from a hovering machine. You don't have time to strike at them before they land. One is brutally large, his weapon a vibrating axe. The other is slim, sheathed in glassy armor and holding a hilt with a sizzling invisible blade. Your companion backs away. She's too young to help. Your enemies advance single file, confined by the parapet. So let's go with fight defensively and figure out who presents a greater threat. The memory seems crystal clear. The giant is menacing, it's true, but the invisible blade of his companion is more worrisome still. The energy field that flickers and wavers around it suggests that she can carve matter at the molecular level, tearing pieces of her target into nothingness. If you are to save yourself, your best bet is to tackle her first. She is stuck behind the giant, waiting her turn to attack you, unable to bring her weapon to bear until he's out of the way. But it's clear that she expects him to handle you, and her eyes rove behind you, her focus on your ward. She's certainly not expecting you to dive between the giant's legs and come up inside her guard. She can't bring her blade to bear in time, and you drive your dagger up under her chin. You catch her before her deadly blade drops onto you and spin her around. The weapon slashes into the giant. He topples, bisected. The immediate threat ended. You focus on finding a way back to your allies. You open the tower door and rush down the stairs. The door at the base of the stairs is slightly cracked. Opening it a bit into the hall, you hear more energy soldiers behind. So, let's crack the door open to sneak past them. You press yourself against the gleaming door, easing it open, and your breath catches in your throat as it squeaks quietly, the sound like a bell in your memory. You pause, but the soldiers in the hall continue to talk. You push again, squeeze yourself through the narrow opening, and creep down the blood-stained hall. The memory begins to fade, and you find yourself back in your own body. Your temples throb with the racing force of your heartbeat, and the reclaimed memories blaze within you like a bonfire on a mountain peak, visible to every predator for kilometers around. A tremor rocks the floor beneath you as though a massive fist has struck the room itself. Swaying on your feet, you see frantic movement within the borders of a mirror at the edge of the room. So anything new on the mirror front? Yep, nothing new there. No, so we don't have a crowd when we come here. That's a pity. The border of this mirror is lavishly decorated with a dizzying number of interlock symbols, daggers, masks, paintbrushes, amulets and more, but that's nothing compared to what you see in the glass. You see a vast crowd of people, exact doppelgangers of you, shoving, arguing with and fighting each other. Most are drab imitations of you, but a few precious few are vivid and pull at your attention. Each of them bears an intricate pentagonal tattoo on their forehead. In their eyes, their actions, you see the memories you discovered within the orbs. You see the choices you made shining like distant stars. Your hand twitches at your side as though some of the bright doppelgangers ignore you, an even smaller number immediately turn to you, waiting for you to choose them and learn what you might become. So let's point at the doppelganger moving stealthily through the crowds. You blink and the doppelganger is gone, or so you think at first. For you can hear, just for a second, a low chuckle somewhere behind you. When you finally blink, it stands before you once more, behind the glass where it belongs, and waiting for your decision. Yes, that is who I am. The remaining doppelgangers scatter for the edges of the mirror and vanish. Your chosen identity steps forward. Its appearance changes as it steps out of the rippling glass. Its face reflects confidence and cleverness. Shadows of weapons flicker in and out of its hands, and a few devices shimmer on its belt. You get the feeling you, would be comfortable in a variety of situations. The word Jack sounds in your mind. So yep, we do indeed select both. Your doppelganger continues walking, stepping into you, filling you, making you whole. Your decision rings out into the cavernous room, awakening and unlocking vast mechanisms behind the walls. Suddenly a grotesque noise rings through your shattered worlds, like a bell, if bells could rot. Something is coming, and we're restored to full. And mirror fades, leaving a dark open doorway. You take a deep breath and step through into the character creation screen. So the choices in the memories and mirror have begun to build your character, but now you get to pick the details. First you can change the type, which defines the abilities. Yep. So here we can actually go for glaive or nano, but we're going to go Jack this time. Because, right, so they've also set the hit point gain for each character type. And yeah, interesting. but the Jack is the also like good at everything, not great at anything option. That's a weird graphical glitch. So that could be interesting. And also, I did Nano, I did Glaive. So this third run of the beta is definitely going to be Jack. So stat pools, yep. Jacks basically want balanced because they're going to do a bit of everything. Interesting. So they talk about evasion, willpower, and health. Right. So these are interesting to mention. We're going to go for speed because I don't know what they really do. Next. Okay. So abilities. So we can do trained without armor, which boosts our defenses. So that's what they're using instead of speed, might, and intellect defense. They've got their own terms for them now, which will make it easier to explain things, I guess. Especially since you don't roll for your own defense in this. Infused weapon gives us extra weapon damage. We get 2 choices. This is automatically succeed in a quick fingers check, and these are practice in armor, punch. Let's grab hedge magic and infused weapon. Those could be interesting. Now we got to pick skills, and we've got an explanation of the skill types. And so because we're stealthy, we have an inability with heavy weapons, running, and initiative. So we are slow, and we are sneaky and deceptive. So we can boost that further. We can grab some perception. We've got an exploration skill, so we only get to pick one of these. In which case, I'm probably going to pick the ability to remember things, because that's kind of been a defining trait of the character so far. They were too wrapped up in their memories to pay attention to falling to their potential death. Right, so we can actually spin around and look at the paper doll. Cool. We don't get a weapon skill because we are not a glaive. And now we can pick a descriptor. Now we've chosen sneaky, which gives us light weapons and stealth and deception, but costs us in initiative and running. And I guess heavy weapons is part of being a Jack? I don't know, that's kind of interesting. Whereas we could have gotten any of these. They've always been around, like graceful, for example, but no, we're going to stick with stealthy. Confirm. Yep, we are a stealthy Jack. Alright, so that's character creation done. Let's see what's happened with the lab. Okay, it's still this revised setup. Everything about the spectral figure seems dreamlike. He's a hazy silhouette who seems to be made of blue glass smoke. He wears stylish, well-cut clothes, and his handsome bearded face seems hauntingly familiar, though you've never seen him before. He breathes a sigh of relief when he sees you. We weren't sure you were going to work. We pulled our strength and channeled it through me to reach you, to wake you up. He glances at the other figures here and frowns unhappily. Took more out of them than we thought. The other reflections, they're more like shadows now. Look, I bet you got a lot of questions. This whole place is basically your mind. Your body's still out there in the real world, healing from that fall. You'll have to get out there and finish the process. It shouldn't be too hard. Okay. You said I had to finish the process. What do you mean by that? After you wake up from this dream state and attune to the tides, you'll have to find something called a resonance chamber. Your body should have landed somewhere near it. Just climb inside that and everything will be fine. So yeah, this place is our mind. The resonance chamber is kind of critical to dealing with whatever is chasing us for some reason. And it's something to do with attuning to the tides, which are a mystical force that pervades everything, like gravity. Tides are like a force, like gravity or magnetism or something, except they respond to people's actions and perceptions. Your body, that is, your body in the real world, needs the tides to survive. It's not something you need to worry about. Your body will attune as it wakes up. So yeah, unfortunately we are being chased by the Sorrow, which kind of attacked our the moon we were born on. And this isn't, you know, Supergirl origin or anything. It's been hunting the character that kind of creates the cast stuffs for centuries. But I'm not going to go through all of this. If you want to know what this is, it doesn't seem changed from the first time, from the second beta. So if you go back to Torment Thursdays 2-1, you can read this or listen to this. So what we're going to do is, is there anything? Before I met you, I felt like something was hunting me. Do you know what it was? That's a memory I don't want to recall. Large, black, furious. It's our death. It's a sorrow. Hope it's lost interest in you. If it finds us, we're done for. Okay, is there any way out of this conversation? Yeah. Okay, so I'm just basically gonna flick through this because I know this. Oh wait, so how do I get back to the real world? There's a portal down there. It'll take you back to your body. Just step through it, and the whole tides thing will take care of itself. When you wake up, you'll find the resonance chamber and activate it. Then we can... What in the hell is that? So that's a big difference, actually. Because part of the resonance chamber was attuning to the tide in the past, as I recall. So now this isn't about attuning to the tides. Sorrow's anchor to those reflections is devouring their power. We have to get rid of him, destroy its anchors, or else the Sorrow will erase us forever. So here's our combat tutorial. So, Crisis, each turn you get an action and a move. Reflections near you. Kill it and loosen the Sorrow's anchor. And yeah, so this is a very heavy-handed tutorial now. It's more so than it used to be. So I can use a point, but I'm not going to bother. No, we can't afford to miss. Next time you gotta hit it. It's escaping. It's gonna hide inside your mind. Ah. Oh wow. So that's annoying. Like, I just completely muffed it. It just, because I accidentally clicked somewhere and there was no confirmation, it worked that way. That's annoying as all hell, actually. Now run, get to the next one. Yeah. You can double move and you can kind of see it on here. It's actually more muted here, but I don't know if that's something else. Hedge magic, esoteric. Flex skill is pick up a skill. So it's just going to keep sending fragments inside my mind. I wonder if the number will be relevant. Ah, right. Okay, so that's meant to take more than one hit now. Okay. Let's start using effort then. Also, this fight is really noisy in my headphones, I have to say. Ooh. What's it doing now? It's infecting it somehow. Fettles are temporary conditions or status effects that can improve or do it. Just place the fettle on the remaining infection. You can't remove it, but you may find a way to overcome it. Ah, right. So now we've got more detailed actions. Okay. Nope, that's not what I meant to do then. Huh. Okay, didn't expect it to work out like that. It let you live? I don't understand. I don't know where pieces went, but I know those things are gonna grow like a cancer, an infection. Can't believe it found us in here. He looks at you, terror in his eyes. That thing, the sorrow, has been hunting you. It's what killed you in the first place. It'll keep hunting you until you activate the resonance chamber. I didn't remember till I saw it, but that's why the chamber's so important. You have to get back and activate the chamber before it's too late. The portal of your body's shivering in that shivering dome. Go, get that. Go now. Wait, no, this is different. I want to talk to this reflection that didn't die. I feel empty, drained. Okay, now we can leave. And next time around, we'll see what's in the real world now. Meet Callistage and Alagon. Thanks for watching. Until then, have a fantastic day. Bye. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you spending the time and effort watching the videos I make. If you'd like to watch more, on the left there should be another video from this playlist. On the right there will be whatever YouTube recommends, and in the center there is a convenient subscribe button just in case you need it.